Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Happy holidays to everyone, and in today's One Piece Treasure Cruise video we are going to do a pooling strategy discussion for the upcoming New Year's Super Sugo Fest. I won't do a deep dive into the steps, they are the basic Super Sugo Fest steps we get in Celebration and Big Sugo Fests. Some important notes though: 15% legend rate, which is very good, 3 times legend rate, essentially the best we can ever see these days in One Piece Treasure Cruise Sugo Fests. 4 parts, part 1 with all of the new legends available, part 2 with Kaido vs Yamato only available out of the new Super Sugos, part 3 with only Robin available, and part 4 with only Nami available. Parts 2 through 4 also guarantee you the featured new legend, so for part 2 for example, Kaido vs Yamato in Multi 30. Part 1 does not guarantee you a specific legend. Also, in parts 2 through 4 we have specific legend pools, but in part 1 every legend in the game is available except Kizuna and Pirate Rumble legends. Even Treasure Map legends are available in part 1. Of course, part 1 still has some rate boosted legends, but everyone is poolable, just with lower rates. And talking about rates, we do not know the exact rates for part 1, so we don't exactly know if the non-rated up Super Sugo Fest units have the same rates as a Treasure Map legend, for example. For parts 2, 3 and 4 though, all of the legends available in the pools have equal pooling rates. Roger is not available anywhere in this Sugo Fest because he gets his own Super Evolution Sugo Fest. He's not even available in part 1 where every other Super Sugo Fest is available. For people that already have him, that's probably for the best. For people that miss him, not so great. For the final part of the general information, the rate boosted rare recruits are the same across all parts. Let's now discuss pooling strategies. The most straightforward one is you wanting one of the 3 new Super Sugo Fest units that get released in this banner and aiming to get them through their own part. That's the easiest one. So for example, you want Kaido vs Yamato the most, you do not care about Nami, you do not care about Robin. You are pooling in part 2. That is the part that features them, guarantees them at level 30, and more importantly, part 2 is the part that gives you the best chances of getting Kaido vs Yamato. Another thing now I want to stress, you can't really compare your missing legends if you go with the strategy I will pull in the part where I miss the majority of legends. You cannot compare your missing legends from part 1 with the rest of the parts, because parts 2, 3 and 4 have limited pools and every legend has equal rates. With part 1 that does not happen, and even though in part 1 we do have rate boosted legends, they are not the only ones poolable. If we scroll down to part 2, you can see all of the legends that will be available in part 2. With part 1 that doesn't happen because almost every legend in the game is poolable there. To make things way more clear for you guys, if a legend is rate boosted in part 1, we do not know that exactly because the rates are not officially out yet, but approximately, if you are missing one rate boosted character from part 1, that character has half of the pooling rates a character available in the legend pool of part 2 will have. Essentially, if you are missing 8 characters for example from part 1, but 5 characters from part 3 and your goal is to get the highest chance to get new characters, then pooling in part 3 is better. That's because of course the legends available in parts 2 through 4 are less legends and also have equal rates, but they are the only ones you can pull from those parts, opposing to part 1 where the rate boosted characters are not the only ones available. Another possible strategy someone might consider is that you definitely want some of the new characters. That would be great, right? But you don't really care who you get, or you don't really want anyone specific. If you get Kaido vs Yamato, great, but if you don't, you're also fine with it. Then you can try your luck in part 1 and also try to get other Super Sugo Fest legends from there, because all of them except Roger are available, and perhaps other characters, specifically legends, you are missing. And when you get your first new Super Sugo Fest character, for example you get Nami in Multi 7, let's say, and along the way you saw other new legends as well, now you can change parts, because you have Nami, you got one new Super Sugo Fest, and you also got other new characters. Your chances now of getting not only new Super Sugos out of the 3 new, but also new legends have decreased, because you got some from the ones you were missing. So what you can now consider is changing parts to either part 2 with Kaido vs Yamato or part 3 with Robin. You don't care about Nami anymore really, because you have her, so there is no reason for you to really pull in part number 4. Now we are not considering the fact we are going to max out the final tap, the super tandem abilities and all that stuff. That's pay to win. You are probably not watching this video if you are planning to max everyone out. In a lot of these Super Sugos, starting with one part and then depending on how it goes, changing to another always is a decent strategy. If you do decide to pull in part 1 and then you are starting to see new characters, and for example you get 2 out of the 3 new Super Sugos in let's say 10 multis, you're pretty lucky, you don't need to keep going for the 3rd new Super Sugo Fest in part 1, just change parts to their specific part. Also, if you decide to go for part 2 for Kaido vs Yamato and you get Kaido vs Yamato in multi 5, for example, you are not going to keep going in part 2, you are either going to stop pulling altogether or change parts. Of course, these thought processes might be simple or obvious for veteran players, but for newer players watching these videos, might as well discuss them. In my opinion, you should be focusing on Super Sugo Fest characters more than normal legends you are missing. This is a Super Sugo Fest, and only during Super Sugo Fests you get the opportunity to pull for Super Sugo Fest characters, so you should prioritize them, especially because we don't really see them often, but probably 3 times a year. During the anniversary, at some point during the summer most of the time, or another celebration period, and then during New Year's. Definitely prioritize Super Sugo Fest characters, especially if they are ones that are really good or you really want. And you should always have in mind that if you go for a specific Super Sugo in a part, and you get another Super Sugo Fest that is available in that part, but it is a dupe for you, it's not the end of the world, because you can still use that copy to max out their Super Tandem or Final Tap abilities. While that should not be your main priority, if it happens, it's not the worst thing. It is better getting a Super Sugo Fest unit dupe than getting a simple legend dupe most of the time. Also, another thing about Super Sugo Fests, I said before, if you want one of the new characters specifically, you will pull in their part. So Kaido vs Yamato in part 2, you should pull there, because that gives you higher chances of getting Kaido vs Yamato compared to part 1. That counts for all of the Super Sugo Fest characters. If you don't care about the 3 new ones, and you let's say want Uta, then you will pull for her in part 2, because you have way higher chances of getting her there compared to part 1. Same with the V2 Straw Hat crew, for example. If you specifically want them and you don't really care about other pulls until you get them, you will pull for them in part number 4. That gives you the best chances for them. As far as the legend pulls go, I can't really get into specifics on which one is the best. I think they are pretty evenly spread out, and that will always depend on each player's box. Hence why I cannot say as an assessment, part 2 is the best part for everyone, because there is no such thing. There is no best part for everyone. Everyone's box is different, everyone's situation is different, and at the end of the day, everyone wants to pull for different things because they have different preferences on what characters they really like. And that is pretty much all I had to say. The most important thing, have fun, and I wish you the best of luck wherever you decide to pull. If you are still conflicted, you can definitely leave a comment and you can discuss it with me or other commenters. And if you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, definitely leave a like, I would really appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel to not miss out on my Super Sugo Fest pulls for New Year's, but also to not miss out on my event guides. Happy holidays to everyone, and as always, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.